Right now, there are body parts inside you doing absolutely nothing. They are evolutionary ghosts, leftovers from a time when your ancestors swung through trees, chewed on raw bark, and hunted in the dark. You are carrying around a biological graveyard. But what if I told you one of these useless organs might actually be saving your life?
Let us start with the most famous evolutionary mistake, the appendix. For generations, doctors viewed this tiny tube as a ticking time bomb. Its only apparent function was to get infected and burst. Charles Darwin believed the appendix was a shrunken remnant of a massive cecum used by our herbivore ancestors to digest plant fibers. When we started eating meat, the organs supposedly became a useless dead end. Or so we thought. Scientists now believe the appendix is a safe house for good bacteria. When illness flushes out your gut microbiome, the appendix releases a backup supply of beneficial microbes to reboot your system. It is an emergency bunker. People without an appendix are more likely to suffer from recurring gut infections. So the most famous vestigial organ is not vestigial at all. But the same cannot be said for your mouth.
For millions of people, the late teenage years bring the agonizing arrival of wisdom teeth. These third molars try to smash into the back of your mouth, trapping themselves under the gums and causing infections. Why would evolution give us teeth that do not fit in our own skulls? The answer lies in our prehistoric diet. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, ancestors ate raw roots and uncooked meat. We needed wide jaws and extra grinders to chew that roughage. Then we invented fire. Cooked food is softer. It requires less chewing. Over thousands of generations, human jaws became narrower, but our genetic blueprint kept trying to pack 32 teeth into a space built for 28. The result is a painful, crowded mess. Today, wisdom teeth are purely a liability, and they are not the only part of our skeleton we outgrew.
Reach down to the base of your spine. You will feel a hard, bony bump. This is your coccyx, or tailbone. That name is entirely accurate. Between 22 and 28 days after conception, every human embryo grows a visible tail. It has vertebrae, blood vessels, and muscles. But as the fetus develops, the body issues a genetic self-destruct order. White blood cells consume the tail. The vertebrae fuse to form the coccyx. Our ancestors lost their tails 25 million years ago when apes split from monkeys. Monkeys need tails for balance on branches. Apes evolved to swing below them and stand upright. A tail just got in the way. Today, the coccyx anchors the muscles of the pelvic floor. But sometimes the genetic self-destruct sequence fails. A tiny handful of babies are born every year with a fleshy vestigial tail. It is a sudden echo of our ancient past.
Watch a dog listen to a strange noise. Its ears swivel like radar dishes. You have the exact same hardware, but your software is broken. Surrounding your outer ear are 3 tiny auricular muscles. In our mammalian ancestors, these muscles moved the ear to detect predators. Today, they are virtually paralyzed. Only a few people can twitch them, and the movement is a weak flutter. We lost this ability because human ancestors evolved highly flexible necks. We did not need swiveling ears when we could easily turn our heads. Look closely at the upper rim of your ear. You might have a small bump on the cartilage. This is Darwin's tubercle. It is a remnant of the joint that allowed our ancestors' ears to fold down flat. Today, it does absolutely nothing. It is just a minor anatomical quirk, much like the hidden leftover inside your eye. Check the inner corner of your eye, next to your nose. You will see a tiny pink triangle of tissue called the plica semilunaris. To understand it, look at reptiles and birds. They possess a nictitating membrane. It is a translucent third eyelid that sweeps horizontally across the eye. Crocodiles use it to see underwater. Falcons use it to protect their eyes while diving at extreme speeds. Early mammals shared this feature. But as primates evolved, we developed highly sensitive hands that could wipe away debris. The third eyelid became unnecessary and regressed. That little pink blob is the shriveled ruin of a feature that once kept our ancestors safe in the wild. It no longer sweeps across your eyeball, though it does help drain your tears. And speaking of ancient defense mechanisms, you still have one hiding right under your skin.
Step into freezing wind, and your skin erupts in goosebumps. This is the erector pili at work. These are microscopic muscles attached to the base of every hair follicle. When they contract, they force the hair to stand up. In hairy animals, this traps a layer of insulating air. It also makes them look larger and more intimidating to threats. But humans shed our thick fur millions of years ago. When we get cold or scared, our body triggers the exact same mechanism. Without fur, we just look bumpy. We get no insulation, and we do not look terrifying. Now look at your arm. Rest your wrist on a table, palm facing up. Touch your thumb to your pinky and bend your hand upward. Do you see a raised tendon popping out? That is the palmaris longus muscle. It is entirely missing in 14% of humans, and you do not need it.
The palmaris longus helped our primate ancestors grip branches and navigate the canopy. When we started walking on the ground, the muscle became obsolete. Surgeons frequently harvest it for reconstructive surgery because your hand works perfectly without it. We have a similar useless muscle in our legs called the plantaris. This thin muscle runs behind the knee and down the calf. In monkeys, it is highly developed and allows them to grip objects with their feet. If you have seen an ape peel a banana with its toes, you have seen the plantaris. Humans traded prehensile feet for rigid feet built for endurance running. The plantaris became so irrelevant that it is completely missing in 10% of the population. Those who have it get no benefit. It provides practically no power. It is just another phantom organ, much like the chemical radar hiding in your face.
Inside your nasal cavity lies a tiny tube called the vomeronasal organ. In many animals, this is a sophisticated chemical detector designed to pick up pheromones. Snakes use it to track prey. Mice use it to identify mates. When a horse curls its upper lip and bares its teeth, it is exposing this organ to sample the air. Human embryos develop this exact structure, but as we grow in the womb, the nerve connections to the brain vanish. The organ remains, but it is unplugged. The hardware is there, but the data cables are severed. Evolution favored our eyesight over our ability to detect chemical signals. We traded pheromones for a world of sharp color. The vomeronasal organ sits idle as a broken antenna waiting for a signal it cannot process. It is the perfect example of human evolution, a messy, imperfect process of upgrading and abandoning.
Your body is not a perfectly engineered machine. It is a patchwork of recycled parts, broken systems, and leftover garbage from millions of years of survival. What do you think evolution will delete next? Leave a comment below. If you learned something new today, subscribe to the channel.